right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Focus on You with Phil. I am Phil. This young man right here, his name is Oscar, and we host the show.
Here we are again. Another week has gone by. I thought we did this like a minute ago.
It feels that way. It just feels like we did do that, but that's life, that's the world, and that's the we live in. So let's just enjoy it while we can. The weather is great. I
Oh,
mean, remember, it was snowing well, not snowing,
three
a few
days
days
ago.
ago.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
flurrying the other night.
And then the rain, it was like, I was ready to come down to your house, get some wood, and build an ark, but
Well, I also got sandbags if you need them.
I don't think you have the patience to handle the two by two situation. It's like, what are these snakes doing up in here? Get
I
my
want to know who
chickens.
who decided to bring two mosquitoes on board. Yeah, you could have left those out.
Hey man, equal opportunity for everyone. Hey, so we today we have some awesome information for you guys. We're going to share a few of them today. So I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to start with this. Back this week, we are
The Bishop's
back,
Corner
man.
is back, better
Is
than ever.
back better than ever. So we have the ladies coming on because it's we're celebrating women this month, right? Something like that. So we got some great businesswomen coming on, and they're going to share with the audience how they can start a business. What it takes to kind of grow business, and they get into the nitty gritty of it. Like we're going to hear from it from the church perspective. We're going to hear from about it from the entrepreneurial perspective. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. Come and join us, Oscar.
I would actually, I would, but today I'm going to be running around. I'm leaving here. That's why I'm dressed formally today. As soon as I'm done here, I'm heading upstate. Got a big meeting coming up.
Oh,
So
big meeting.
big meeting.
Nice. All right. Remember my cut.
Oh, absolutely.
Just remember my cut, okay? Because that's just how we gotta roll. All right, so we're going to be adding a few new segments to our program because we why waste talent when you have it on. So we have Oscar Capel, who is a Legal Shield
Associate,
independent
independent associate. Yes, that's what we are.
associate. Yes, and I think he's going to talk to us a little bit about how we can protect our identity
Hmm.
and some of the services that they provide for that. So I want to run that over to you now, Oscar. Go ahead, do your thing.
Sure. For those of you that never met me before, I am an associate with Legal Shield and ID Shield. What does that mean? We finally have access to legal service the way we're supposed to. Before you would get as much legal counseling as you can afford. Now, with the way everything is, that we need more and more legal representation daily. There are things going on all over the place that we getting the right advice from a qualified law firm makes a night and day difference in your life. So that's what we do. We do affordable legal service for people. You can think of it as, let's say, Blockbuster versus Netflix, where the old way of getting legal advice, you would go like to Blockbuster, get an hour of advice and pay for it an hour at a time. With Legal Shield, you're paying a monthly subscription. It's about $30 a month, and that allows you access to the law firm. Call them as many times as you need with whatever question. They also throw in a living will, and healthcare power of attorney. That's a must-have nowadays. You never know when you get sick and you're unable to communicate. Your your power of attorney helps your family direct your medical needs. So that is part of what we do. The other part is identity theft. ID Shield is, I believe, the only company that has licensed private investigators to do the heavy lifting, to do the restorations. A lot of companies you hear they have dedicated technicians. Basically it's a call center, and they'll give you the information to fix your own identity for a fee, where you'll get that same information just by googling how do I fix my identity. But we have licensed investigators that do that for you. The important thing is what people don't realize, that and also if you see the identity theft commercials out there, it's always about financial. It's your bank records, it's your credit card, it's your mortgage. But there are so many numbers that point us. That's what identity theft is. It's the number. They steal the numbers that point to us. So that's social security number, driver's license, medical ID, your insurance, passport, all of these little numbers that point to us. And it's the only crime that you have to prove that you are innocent, because everything is pointing to you, all those numbers. So the important thing is to be proactive and prepared. As I tell people, unfortunately, you can't buy collision insurance for your car after you hit a tree, because there are pieces all over the place. There's no way to get that back together again. So you need to have this in place so your identity is established before we figure out what went wrong. And at last count, there were over 30 billion records stolen just in the past couple of years. It's 30 billion with a B. So we only have 325 million people in the US. 34 billion records. All of our information is out there. It's for sale and it gets used against us. So that's what we do. We protect individuals, families, and businesses with legal protection and identity theft restoration. And that is part of what we do. And I'll bring in the last part when we continue this conversation later on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think right now, Oscar, one of the reasons I thought about featuring what you do is because of the time that we're living in, the age that we're living in. You can duplicate someone's identity now, and even facial recognition type things are. It is incredible.
I know
Uh,
how to overcome two-factor authentication. So like, well, I got two-factor authentication. Guess what? That can be
right.
defeated. That can be defeated. There is so yeah, and I do workshops, live workshops, and talk to people about what's going on. And one of the things that I always say is, and I had someone that had the grandma scam going,
Mm-hmm.
where they call up and say, little Joey's is in jail, and calls up to say, Grandma, I need money to get out of jail because I don't want to tell mom and dad. And what they actually had done was they sampled a voice and did that with their actual voice.
What?
Yes. So AI is able to say. That's why when again, I can go through an hour and a half seminar, but when you get a phone call and say, "Is this Philip Reed?" You don't say yes, because now they have your voice print saying yes. So I need to voice authenticate a loan for a car. Is this Philip Reed? There's that yes. Okay, voice authentication is correct. So that's what your bank has, your voice, and it's crazy. And if the best way to get rid of the grandma scam is have a keyword, have a safe word, purple donuts, whatever it is, some two words that make no sense. That when little Joey calls up, and Grandma, I need money because I got arrested. Okay, Joey, what's our keyword? The-
So like muffins.
right.
That could be our keyword because we
That
know what
that's
muffins
that's
are.
that's your trigger word, actually.
That's our trigger. There's a lot behind that word between you and me, Oscar, and we'll tell the public a little bit more about that another day. But yeah, we have our guest for today. She is on. And, her name is Miss Alicia Alexander. She was one of the newest partners with the Phoenix National Network. and we're very excited to have her. She's gonna be coming on in a few seconds, but I'm gonna give you guys a quick PNN update just to give you a heads up as what's going on. We are working on quite a few different things. Oscar, we just had a conversation with Roby.ai and their AI development company, technology company that focuses around podcasting.
Oh, just happens to focus
Ain't
on
that
podcasts.
ain't that something? So I said, man, this is. He's telling me some really awesome things that they do, and I can't wait to introduce them to our PNN audience. You want to hear this? You want to tap into what's going to be happening here on the Phoenix National Network because we're taking it to the next level, and we got a great team working with us. Oscar is one of them, and we have a few others and it's going to be fun. We're having a good time doing it, right,
Oh,
Oscar? I mean,
it's a great, but what people don't realize is what's going on behind the scenes. I've known you for what now, 3, 4 years,
4 years, yeah,
and
4 years, yeah.
we started out with a basically a go-kart, like four wheels, with bent nails holding the wheels on. And this man behind the scenes, he does not sleep. He kicks over every rock. At this point, I think we're almost at Ferrari stage after what you've been doing all these years. It's every 5 minutes I get a call. Guess who I talk to? Guess what look what we're gonna do. We're adding this. It's like amazing, and you don't get enough credit for it, but you are absolutely, and then you bring in great people, but it's, you're there stirring that, like beating up the bushes, see what comes out. Oh, we can use
We
that.
can do that. Yeah, man. One of the things I'm really excited about is the monetization of the platform because that's we're working on that diligently together, and I think it's going to be good, man. We're gonna make something happen.
Yeah, you put a podcast down, you want some money out of it. It's you know
Hey,
it's
come on. That's
not a
the
hobby.
whole point of it. That's the whole point of it. So that's our update for today. We just love to hear your feedback. So you know where to go. You see it right there at the bottom, pnnstationplus.com. Let's go to the contact us and reach out to us if you want to learn more about starting your own podcast or just come and have some fun with some awesome people. All right. So now we're going to have our guest, the one and only Miss Alicia Alexander. Come on down. What's up, Alicia?
Hi guys, how are you, Dr. Philip and Oscar? How are you doing?
Good. How are you this morning?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Where are you
Yes.
coming to us from?
I'm coming to you from this beautiful state of Rhode Island. It's also called the Ocean State.
Nice.
Nice. New Orleans, you said?
No.
Rhode Island, between Massachusetts and Connecticut.
Hello. I've driven through there a couple of times. It takes about a minute and a half. It's so great.
Yeah, well, we are the smallest state in the union, so I can imagine that would be true.
Well, no, you know what it is that Oscar learned how to drive in the Bronx.
I drive
So,
fast.
yeah.
Ah,
So at every corner you can find a guy to sell you sell you a license, just to get you on the road.
definitely.
I'm sorry, Oscar. I had to tell everybody how you got your license, man.
And
Okay,
listen,
you got it off the internet.
I thought I scrubbed those Interpol warrants against me, but obviously they're still out there.
So, Alicia, thank you so much for joining us on Focus on You because Focus on You is about focusing on you. So, tell us a little bit. We have about 15 minutes.
Okay.
So, just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, you want the condensed version or the longer version?
A little bit of everything.
Okay, great. My humble beginnings began in Trinidad and Tobago. As a toddler, I was brought to with my mom and my dad to Boston to live from my first 11 years, and after that, we moved to Providence, Rumford, Rhode Island, and we've been here ever since. Um, I'm really excited to be here today. Thank you, Dr. Phillip and Dr. And Oscar. And my company is called Make a Difference Consulting. We help businesses have peace in their organization. I do that through the Five Languages of Appreciation in the Workplace, which is a book through Dr. Gary Chapman and Dr. Paul White. And it's designed to have the employee feel valued and appreciated in the workplace. I mean, sometimes we have incidences where the employee leaves an organization not because of finances, but because they didn't feel they were contributing to the organization. And so to correct that, we have the Five Languages of Appreciation in the Workplace. And there's everybody that's working or in an organization has a primary and secondary language of appreciation. And it's designed so that they will feel valued, appreciated, and be able to have a harmonious working culture. For the businessman, it's designed to retain employees, to mitigate high turnover costs, and to increase the bottom line. Um, the most significant thing that I can say about the Five Languages of Appreciation in the Workplace is that if you have a troubled or a toxic or a strained work environment, this is a measurable way to correct that environment and to make it harmonious. The five languages are words of affirmation, which 46% of the population has as their primary or secondary language. Quality time, which means you get to spend time with your circle of influence. Acts of service means that, if there's a tight working limit on a project, you just pitch in and help out and get the work done together. The fourth is tangible gifts, which means you give a gift that is value to the person who's receiving it. And the last is physical touch. And now physical touch is limited to handshakes, fist bumps, and high fives in the workplace. It's important to recognize that we all have a primary and secondary language, and we contribute to each other's success in the workplace by recognizing that fact.
The funny thing is, I recently learned that, and probably just before getting on with you, so it's that close, that people leave jobs not for money, but they leave jobs primarily because they do not feel appreciated at work. So
This is true.
that I'm like, people leave because they get more money. No, they would stay at a lower salary if they feel their work is appreciated. So
Right. It means something to an employee that they feel that contributing and the contribution is being recognized by those um, who have responsibility for the organization.
that's great. And how did you get started doing this? You're out in Rhode Island. You're like the smallest but one of the prettiest states that we have on the East Coast. How did that arc? Where did you start and brought you to this?
Well, my background is in human resources. I spent some time in talent acquisition, and I've done office work in human resources. But what led me to it was my doctoral degree, which I'm working on now, and that's in organizational leadership with an emphasis on organizational development, qualitative research. I'm at Grand Canyon University.
Oh, cool, cool. And then with your doctorate, what happens? What that brings you up to the next level of or a book. What's after that?
Well, my once I have my doctorate, for me, I continue doing what I do now, but with more authority, more recognition as she's an expert, which I am already because I have my master's in leadership. But it just gives me more clout, in my opinion.
And in a nutshell, what would be the biggest mistake employers make with their teams?
To have the wrong opinion of their staff. Um, a lot of times, the opinion of the leadership conveys that they don't think their staff um, has the ability to do what the task is, and we as leaders we need to have the proper perspective about our staff, about people that we associate with, because what you think about, you bring about.
Mm. But now she's
I'm writing that
preaching.
down. I'm
Now
writing
she's
that down.
preaching. Yeah, that's it right there. Somebody passed the offering plate. That was good. That was good.
Thank you.
Uh, but that is the key, is that but in everything, people want to feel a sense of value, right? They want to feel like they contribute something and they're going to get rewarded for it, or that you know, uh, even if they're doing a semi bad job per se, right? It's all about communication when it comes to in the workplace and leadership in the workplace, right? Because we may not be training. You have to take the assumption maybe the training isn't working, especially if you have a group of people not doing well. What do you say? When you see like the system, when their workflow isn't accurately working, but they're literally like pointing to the employees, as the source of the problem.
That's a great question. Um, my understanding would be that we need to look at the components of the training programs and assess, does it meet the current staff need. Um, it's highly important to have all components working for the organization in an optimum way. And if
Hmm.
you want optimum performance from your employees and staff, it is important to provide the right environment.
Hmm.
My tagline is arming the decision maker to create a great working environment. And my role, especially as a doctoral student and soon to be Dr. Alexander, um, is to provide enough assistance that the decision maker will feel empowered to have that kind of work environment that's harmonious and profitable.
I've watched Undercover Boss, and it's really incredible when the CEO gets down in the trenches to the lowest level and learns so much about how to run the business from the people that are on the ground doing the grunt work. And
Yes.
it's so good to see. Like, I forgot what company. um it was a food retailer, and the food franchise, and some guy would put on his own sauce because it didn't taste right, and the boss happened to be there and tasted it, and he now has this sauce as part of the sauces available for the food. So get down there and find out from the but you know this is where you come in, where you can talk to them and have a structure set up so they can learn from the employees on maybe there is a better way of doing it that you don't see from, because you're upper management, you have enough on your plate and you're missing the little details that can make that business fantastic.
Absolutely. I always, my credence is that the frontline workers are the closest to the customers. So
Mm-hmm.
you going, the frontline workers will hear exactly what the customers feel. That needs to be communicated in a structured way back to the upper management so that they can serve their customers better. There needs to be, and I just had an assignment on this last night. So funny that this is happening now. Um, there needs to be a give and take between frontline workers and upper management, and all management in between. So organizationally, if we have principles in place that allow for a free flow of communication,
Mm-hmm.
the organization will prosper. And
Mm-hmm. That's
that's
true.
the ultimate goal. You know,
Mm-hmm.
communication
Yes.
is very key
Mm-hmm.
in organizations from all lines of employees.
That's so true because um, the deal is like when I worked for a certain retailer, uh, different managers did different things. And one of the things noticed about the managers that sat down with the people, like you said, the frontline workers, the people who are in touch with the clients, hearing what the clients are complaining about, hearing what people are talking about, he would sit down and get their information. Like, what are you hearing? What's going on? Why are customers doing this? Why are customers doing that? And in asking us and kind of getting our answers, they realize, okay, we can know what the customer is thinking just by talking to the associate,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas then you have that alpha person that comes in and goes, "Hey, I'm going to do everything right," and and they start mashing things down. They don't listen to nobody, and then when things mess up, you go, "Hey, man, listen, we were trying to tell you, but you were
We're
just."
trying to tell you there's a hole in the boat.
And they were the ones making the hole. The ship was running fine, and because they want to make their mark in the world, they come and just and or they didn't like the manager that was there before, so they want to kind of like sabotage everything they did and make themselves look like the hero. It doesn't work. It
No, it
really,
doesn't.
it really doesn't work. So
No,
Alicia,
I was going
I
to
know.
say the key to what you're saying is that we all in the workplace need to remain teachable and need to use, as someone said to me yesterday, their parents taught them how to use their ears over their mouth.
Two of those. One of
Exactly.
these.
Right.
Not counting the teeth. We're just talking the mouth. Okay. Well, I got 32 different teeth, so I need to talk. Alicia, listen, I always love talking to you because you get deep. You go right into the skin of things and the meat of things. So, but we only have a couple minutes left, but we want to ask you, like, what kind of clients are you looking for? Who are you reaching out to that you'd like to help with your skill set?
Well, I have two avatars. The first avatar would be the business owner or the upper management level, if you want to say employee of the organization, that is feeling frustrated, feeling like, the high turnover costs, what the situation, what's wrong, that there's such a high turnover. Is there an isolated problem that they can nail down and fix it? People who want to fix the problem. And the second one would be the employee who's feeling not appreciated, that's feeling a little frustrated, that's looking elsewhere, but still wants to be contribute to the organization that they're currently in.
Hmm.
It's always in that situation. I would say it's a mindset change that needs to happen. so
Mm-hmm.
that that person can feel valued and appreciated within themselves and
Mm-hmm.
help change where they are. If not, if attempting to help change where they are, it doesn't work, and they still need to feel and find themselves elsewhere. By all means, I support you in your decision, but start where you are.
Yeah, that kind of lines up with the self love issue thing that we talked about today.
Absolutely.
You know, you gotta really know your own value. All right. So how did they reach you? How can they
I can
reach
be
you?
reached by phone at 401 601 3207. By website, um, it's makeadifferenceconsulting.com, and by email, Alicia at makeadifferenceconsulting.com.
All right, that is wonderful. Thank you so much, Alicia. Again, a great interview. Oscar, you have any final words to say, Oscar?
No problem. I'm just mulling over what she's saying, and because I was on that other side when I was managing a group of 97 people. And one thing I found out is what I thought was going on was not what is really going on until I talked to the people. I'm like, all right, this is going wrong because of this. And I'm ready to, like bring the hammer down because this is going wrong. I'm like, well, let me ask. And then I'm like, oh, okay, that's what the problem really is. Okay, so this is what we can do. So, you know, really really understanding again from the workers what it is they need and how to communicate is more important than just sitting up in the in the tower and looking over to see how the people are doing. It's that communication is vital.
It is
Absolutely.
key. It is key. All right.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Alicia. We really appreciated you coming on. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to put you in the back room and then we'll converse after the show. Okay.
I just wanted to say thank you, gentlemen, for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Always a pleasure.
Awesome. Always, 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 always. See you in a few minutes. All right, Oscar, the
Yes sir.
man, the myth, and the legend. This is one of our favorite companies to promote because of what they do, and that is a company you represent as well,
Yes,
which is
I'll go back to my Legal Shield and ID Shield associate role. Our line of sponsorship discovered Operation Underground Railroad a few years ago. They've come to speak at the conventions with Master Networks. They've been
mhm,
there talking to Master Networks. So they go around and speaking what they do. If you've seen the movie Sound of Freedom, they go out and they rescue children from sex traffickers in the U.S. and around the world. It's the problem is every time there's a war, every time there are border crossings, there are cartels that traffic people for sex, for work, for everything, and they are caught in this incredible downturn that there's no way out unless people come out and do something about it. So what we do is we volunteer time, and what we do mostly is spread information on how people can get involved and how you could recognize the signs for trafficking. I'm gonna share the screen. I'm gonna share the screen now. Okay, there, and this is their website, OURrescue.org. In the Join the Fight, there are events and what you can do when what we do, resources. There are movies out there. There's a movie out right now called It's Happening Right Here. And it really, really opens your eyes to what's going on in the US because people think of child trafficking that, a van will pull up and pull a kid in, and that happens in
mhm,
third world countries. But here, these kids are being groomed on the internet. They are being found in chat rooms when your kid is playing a game. And I know someone that I told this to, and they said this absolutely happened. Their kid is playing Fortnite, and they're chatting with someone who's another 15-year-old whose parents don't understand them. They don't get along with anybody, and now they find his friend, and that is a sex predator that is preying on our kids, and that's the way they get in. So it's very important. Get a hold of that movie. It's happening right here. To really educate yourself on what you can do to protect kids, because it is, it's getting worse. It's something that's not getting better. This is their Facebook page. They will let you know what's going on daily on what they're able to do to stop trafficking. Here's a guy that had cameras hidden in the house, and they have trained dogs that actually sniff out cameras and hard drives and stuff like that. It's a problem that's not going away. It's a problem that's getting worse. If you know what this means, then you're ahead of the game. That is the international signal for help, that they're being held against their will. There are kids that have been rescued doing that through the window of a car in a gas station and over and over. So things that we need to do to really look out and see what's going on around us and do what we can to stop this.
It's got to. I mean, it's going to take all of us. It's going to take everybody to make everyone, make a awareness and awareness of the situation, because it's going on too long, and we only get vigilant if it happens to our family or happens to our kid, right? We should be vigilant about it before any of that happens to any of us. So I really appreciate what OUR is doing. Thank you for being a representative for them, Oscar. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm one of two ambassadors here in New York. So we
Okay.
really we sponsor movies, and we got a 5K run coming up soon. I'll be a spectator. I don't run, but I will be there and doing what I need to do to support it. But raising awareness is number one. Check out their Facebook page. Check out OURrescue.org for their website, and see what you can do to educate yourself and educate your neighbors. They're getting a program together for schools, so they'll have anti-trafficking and awareness groups in schools. So it is that bad that everybody needs to know what's going on and to see what they can do. Now, whatever little thing you can do will help.
Awesome. Awesome. That is the truth. All right. You heard them. Go to their website, check them out, and support.
It's not, and again, and if you've watched Sound of Freedom, you'll notice OUR is not mentioned there because uh, Tim, the guy who started it, said, "I don't want it just to be about this company. I want it, whatever anti-trafficking group that you know of that's in your neighborhood that's already there, join them. It's not just one group doing it. It's many groups from all over the place. So you know, it's safety in numbers, and the more we spread this out and let people know, join whatever group makes you comfortable, but do something.
Do something. Don't do nothing. Do something. All right. Thank you guys for watching. It was great. Alicia, Miss Alexander, reach out to her. You're going to be able to find her on our platform, pnnstationplus.com. You see it right there at the bottom. Bada bing, bada boom. We are out. Thank you so much.
See you all next week.